It's Wednesday night, and you know what that means. It is time for the Greg Cherry Show. We are here. It is November of 2021. Can you believe it? It's insane, and it's a very special week for yours truly because
Yes.
my birthday's on Friday, baby. So we're gonna try and have some fun tonight. We got a lot going on this week, obviously, as you saw in the previews. A lot of big stuff tomorrow, especially.
Yeah, a little bit.
With the debut of WTC, the trivia tournament kicking off with Chris LaBelle and Tempest, and then of course your interview with Kate Hensler from Fightful.
Which thank God for you and your editing skills, because it looked a lot worse than when I first ready to post it, man. I appreciate you stepping in and doing that. And I need to apologize to everybody right now up front before we get going here. I posted that video earlier. I was very angry at what happened with the financial stuff, but let me just say this to everybody right now. Please secure your finances, secure your passwords, and secure your mental health. Like, seriously, because Jesus, they're both very, very important in very different ways. Like, for real. So just keep your shit together and keep it secure, because it's very fragile. And the hat, Tim, is actually, let's see if I can do this without showing my bald ass head here. Hang on. It's actually the Chris Jericho Rock and Wrestling Rager at Sea official beanie thing. So there you go.
Yeah.
Anyway,
you put that on like I've never seen your head before.
Well, that's okay. The fact that my bald head was in the trailer, you know what? Hell with it. Whatever. It was in the trailer. Like, I really give a shit at this point. So, yeah, it's I'm looking forward to WTC finally getting back underway. I don't mind an extra long ring as Jack of all trades champion either. That's always a bonus. And anytime I can watch you host a tournament match, a trivia match, and watch these two people struggle and sweat it out trying to get down the path to face you is always fun for me to watch, because I don't do it anymore. So
I'll tell you this much: this tournament is really surprising, I guess is the best way to put it. I'm happy with how the matches have turned out. It's just, if you filled out a bracket, which I know I didn't do a bracket challenge this time, don't bet on everybody you would bet on. I'll say that much.
It's one of those things where, you know, the tournaments can be pretty easy to figure out. Tournaments can be bracket busters and ball busters, and it's just a little bit of everything with this tournament. So there you go.
Yes. And to kick off the show, before we get into what we're doing, Brett Storm, as he does every week, which we appreciate it, Brett. We thank you very much. Says sunrise, sunset, and I donate to the channel. We appreciate you, Brett.
Very much.
I'll be seeing you shortly for your taping. His taping has not happened yet.
Oh, okay.
But I have 5 episodes in the can, so we're pretty good through like early mid-December.
Yeah, and it's funny. We were talking about having you put a show up on the week of Thanksgiving, not doing it because Thursday obviously is Thanksgiving Day. And I said, well, if you don't do it that way, then the first round is over at the end of the year, and you can start the second round with a new year. You went, that's a good point. So that's what we're doing. So it worked out.
Yeah, it'll work out nicely. So Brett, let me pull up the wheel here, and let's get you your spin.
Yes.
Let's get a bunch of.
I appreciate your sister Amy's saying I look better without the hat. She's one of the few females that doesn't mind the bright ping off the top of my head. So thank you for that.
Josh, I'm not going to rub it. I'm not going to rub the Steelers' victory over the Browns in your face. No. I actually want to congratulate you on the proper use of yins. I appreciate that.
Yes.
Yes. So I'm not going to. We're going to talk about like the games this weekend. I'm not going to overly brag, especially because you used yins properly. And as a Pittsburgher at heart, you know that makes me very happy. So Brett, before we get into all the football and wrestling talk and all of that we're going to be doing today, let's get you a wheel spin. Let's see how it goes.
Is there a karaoke option on this wheel? Oh, there is. Okay, cool. All right.
Oh, yeah, there is.
All right.
Would you call your shot? Holy crap.
I would like to cash in my mental health is crap day and request Judas if I can. Just because I felt like I had to sing it live with Jericho coming out, so I'm all Judas. Plus, the day I'm having it's a Judas day, so there you go.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we can't actually play the song because we'll get pinged. Let's see. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. I can always put it on the computer because, like, if it's really low, it's fine.
That's true.
So
okay.
So
well,
because if it's like indistinguishable.
Yeah.
All right, let me get this off of here.
I mean, we can do the karaoke stuff later and just actually get to the show and give me a chance to warm the vocal cords up.
That's true.
Because ask anybody in the local circle, my karaoke skills have only diminished since I broke up with my son's mother 10 years ago. So it's ugly. So
that's perfectly fine. So Brett, if you're fine with us delaying the Judas a little bit, we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of the show, as they say.
Yes.
On today's show, obviously the football wrestling discussion we're going to talk about, as we do every week during football season, because we love the sport. Yes. You know, it's us wrestling guys, but we love our football, man.
Especially when the Cowboys.
And also, going back to this, and I'll get into it when we get into college football. They brought out the college football playoff rankings, and I am going to tear that committee a new asshole.
Yeah, seriously. The only reason I'm not ranting more on the show about what happened this morning is because Greg has a Bama rant.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ. Rightfully so. Let me not kid ourselves here.
Weird state laws from Delaware. There are quite a few. Surprisingly, I think more than there were from Connecticut, which is weird.
Yeah, Connecticut was interesting.
You're not kidding. And of course, the Wednesday Q&A. And of course, we appreciate. I didn't even have my graphic up. I didn't even have the "Hey, donate us money" graphic.
He was not ready for that long ass intro of mine. So again, I apologize for that. I meant to start the show at 5 till and run that trailer because I got to pay the bills. Come back next week. So it's, I wanted to get it out there. I wanted to have the little trailer for WTC because it's like, how do I do this without making it look completely choppy? I actually turned out pretty good. I was proud of myself. Wanted to plug Ariel because that's our girl from Paradise Kitty. So I can't stand the ball. It's driving me crazy. Hang on a second.
All right. While Jeff does his thing, let's talk about. Actually, let me pull up the college football.
Oh, it's too tight.
I want to kick the show off of that. I'm not going to waste any time.
No, and it's one of those things where we don't have a whole lot of bitching to do with professional football because the Steelers won and the Cowboys are still whooping ass. So,
yeah. Well, the Cowboys kind of escaped on Sunday night.
They did, and I mean to an extent. I mean, people are worried about Dak not playing and them subbing in, but hey, the kid came through. So,
all right,
there it goes.
Let's see.
Slowly but surely.
My internet is deciding to run insanely slow. I don't know what the deal with it is.
Yeah, it's been like I've been very lucky this week. I'm waiting for the hammer to fall on a. Luckily, I'm doing more lives this week. I'm just doing 2 more recordings tomorrow, and then I'm done for the week. As far as I've got Thursdays and Friday shows already up, I just got to record tomorrow. The hat now is Mickey Mouse. It was from Teresa's mom. It was a gift for my birthday this year, I think. Maybe last year. No, this year. I don't know.
The Patriots playoff rank.
Yeah, I was only mildly happy with the Patriots winning because they beat the Chargers. So that was all right. Yes, I even hate my own team because they're not really my team. They're from San Diego. They need to go back. Yeah, Greg's running the AOL dial-up right now at the moment. That's why we're having such a hard time with it.
If you know, you know. There are some people in here that didn't have to.
No idea.
That. All right, so
you don't understand that reference, you old fogies. Yeah, we know.
So I'll kick it off by saying Georgia's number one, as they should be.
Well, yeah, Georgia's whooping that ass. Shivani is like loving life right now.
Georgia is. Okay. Number 2 as Alabama. Let me tell you something right now. If Alabama was undefeated, fine.
Right.
I wouldn't like it, but if they were unbeaten, fine. They lost to a previously unranked Texas A&M team.
Yes.
And they're number 2?
Yeah, what the shit is that? Oh.
They leapfrogged over multiple unbeatens. Like they jumped Michigan State, who just beat Michigan.
Which is always
Cincinnati, who was ranked number 2 and now in the playoff committee are ranked 6th.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Granted, I'm especially not happy with the Cincinnati ranking because Cincinnati beat the Irish, and
right.
it's like, granted, Cincinnati's strength of schedule isn't superb, but
no.
How can you rank a one-loss Alabama over undefeated teams? Like, how
because
can you
they're
do
Alabama,
that?
They've got the freaking stroke with the committee. Right or wrong, they do.
I feel like they probably rank them at like 5th or something. They're like, because it's Alabama, give them +3.
Right. Yeah. Here's your 3-stroke handicap, literally.
Yeah. I officially don't understand. Like, if Alabama would have been 4th, I would have still been annoyed. But like, okay, whatever. But having them ranked number 2 is absolute bullshit.
And again, you got two people from completely different, views on it, have the exact same opinion. He doesn't know much for proper sports, but yeah, them being ranked number 2 just doesn't sound right. They're not undefeated. There are teams undefeated below them. That mathematically, statistically makes no damn sense whatsoever. Number 1. And yes, the playoff committee has been biased toward them for a long time. The SEC in general, but definitely Alabama.
And
this isn't Danhausen. I can swear if it's my channel, I can swear if I want to. Anyway.
Yeah. Language. English? That's always my response. I don't understand the SEC bias. I don't.
I never have.
Because outside of Georgia and Alabama, who's the SEC even have in the top 10? Nobody.
Right. No.
Michigan State's Big 10. Oregon's over the Pac-12. Ohio State's Big 10. Michigan's Big 10. Notre Dame's independent. Like, you don't have another SEC team until Auburn at 13.
Yeah, there's no reason they should have this kind of freaking sway within the committee. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
I don't understand it. No. I don't know if I ever will understand. Granted, it's just the first set of playoff rankings. Like, they're not going to the playoffs right now because there's still a few weeks of football and the conference championship games to go. Yes. It's just stupid to me. Like, as a Notre Dame fan, I don't care for Michigan State. Okay. Like, there's a history there between Notre Dame and Michigan State. Right. But I would have put Michigan State over Alabama because guess what? They're unbeaten. Yeah, they're undefeated.
And it's hard for me to stay unbiased because of Ohio State and how awesome, and the fact that team up north continues to be a pain in our ass. But
Ohio State's 5th and Michigan's 7th. So
well, Michigan should be 777th for all I give a shit about those assholes.
Well, Notre Dame's 10th, so like they kind of have to win out to even have a chance at sniffing the top 4.
Definitely. The only reason I don't criticize that team up north too much is because Rick and Scott Center came from there, and I don't want to get them kicking my ass because they're crazy people.
I don't care.
Especially Scotty.
As a Notre Dame fan, I can't root for Michigan in any sense.
No. I'm not saying I'll root for them ever. That's why I can't even say the name out loud. I have to say that team up north, or I get like a bad crick in my neck. But I'm not going to criticize too much because I need Scotty Steiner's wrath coming down on me because he's an insane person.
Here's the problem, Curtis. I understand like the SEC draws some pretty big money because college football is definitely a big deal in the South. My problem is, let's say Georgia and Bama run their respective tables. They have to face each other in the SEC championship. In my opinion, Georgia gonna whoop that ass.
You would think so.
Like Georgia's defense is insane right now. Yes. Absolutely insane.
Yes.
So I think they shut down Alabama like they shut down everybody else. Right. I feel like they beat them by like at least 3 scores and eliminate any chance that Bama has to make the top 4.
Right.
Now, granted, there is a little bit of controversy in me saying that because Notre Dame didn't exactly perform ideally in the ACC championship last year.
No.
Against Clemson, and they still made the top 4.
Right, which was discussed on this show. So
it was discussed on the show, and I honestly probably wouldn't have ranked Notre Dame in the top 4 after their ACC championship loss, despite the fact that they had beaten Clemson earlier that season.
Right.
But I'm not going to turn down an invite to the college football playoff.
It's very hard to be a unbiased reporting person like we try to be most of the time and be a fan. It's a bitch. It's a very hard thing to balance. It's difficult. And like I said, luckily I don't have too much soul invested in college football. NFL, like I said, my chest is about this big right now because we're getting by very well down in Dallas. But college football, like I said, college football I've noticed definitely gets much more intense. And I say that because it's much more of a hometown, homeschool, you get the homers wound up and man, they just get tizzy crazy. And that's not a bad thing for me because I'm a sports guy. I love when shit like that happens. It's great. But these rankings just make your brain bleed. They just it just doesn't. And again, SEC being top heavy, the boosters, and like you said, I get that. The fact that I'm interested in listening to the most recent one happened when because Shivani is a Georgia guy and Conrad's an Alabama guy, I want to hear the interaction. The fact that Georgia is above Alabama and they are going to go there. It's going to happen, and I can't wait to see one of their two heads explode.
Timmy Funster says, I think Greg should get a hat. That would be cool. Give me 1 second.
Well, it's funny. He asked how many hats I have. The amount of hats I have is like a Tootsie Roll Pop. The world may never know how many it takes. Like I've got hats that I wear that I keep out consistently to wear on a regular basis. I got hats over here I bought for one-time use for like stuff like Dad's and this show. And then I've got 2 complete fill to the brim trash bags full of stuff to take to the other house because they're not trash. Easy way to move them. I have more hats than should be allowed because I was always self-conscious of the way my hair looked when I was younger. There's as far as I know, there's one picture of me from Disneyland in the last 15 years where I'm not wearing a hat. It's one of me and Mickey. I'm kind of turned side like this, and I've got what almost constitutes a mullet, hair length. Other than that, it's hats or bust because I've just not been fond of my hair. So that's why. And now that I've gone pretty much bald, it's just easier. Plus, going outside, sunburns are a bitch, especially on the top of your head. Because when you sunburn the top of your head, it is murder to get it aloe vera and try to sleep. Oh my God. Awful. So that's why we're hats.
But I did get myself a hat.
Right boy. There you go.
Yeah. I'm not lying about my affiliation to Notre Dame.
That's one thing I don't have is the only Cowboys hat I have close by, although I did find my Super Bowl 30 hat the other day, which I thought was kind of cool. Is this is my dad's. So
you're not allowed to wear the Super Bowl 30 hat on this show.
No, I understand that.
For obvious reasons.
Yes, but the one shirt we have in that and that we all have in common is the 5 ring shirt, and I can't wear that on this show because then I just get trumped. So okay, so JJ knows for sure I do have as many hats as women have. This is an accurate statement 100%. Now, the question is, are there more hats in the collection or Mickey Mouse pictures? That's the key mystery we have to figure out over the course of the next little while.
And I want to ask you a question. Are you taking part in the Judas karaoke? Or...
I will belt it out if you want. I can sing it. Like I'm gonna sound like shit.
I was gonna say if you want to do that because I've sung it on the show. Big G's sung it on the show. If you want to take care of it, if you want to take care of it, I can run and get water just in case somebody donates again, and we'll have to do karaoke again.
What I will do is I will play the song then. And I will play it low so it doesn't get pinged. Like I said, let me see if I find a karaoke version of it, and then I'll go ahead and play it. But keep going while I find that.
Okay. While you keep doing that, can we have a whole live stream where Jeff shows us all his hats? Do we have that much time?
Seriously, we're only on for an hour on Wednesdays, guys.
This guy experience. What do you have planned for your birthday, Greg? So my parents are coming up. My parents are coming up Saturday. My dad and I are going to watch Notre Dame Navy because that's always a big game. We didn't get it last year because of the COVID stuff. And then playing in a poker tournament. So basically the things I really enjoy, I get to do on my birthday. And I don't have to leave the house, which is even better. So yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. I didn't go to poker this Tuesday because I was filming the one of the trivia matches. So I missed out on it Tuesday, but playing on Saturday, so it's fine. You muted yourself, Jeff.
Why are we advocating this the type of lunacy on my stuff for Greg's channel? You guys are gluttons for evil.
I think we need some donations if we want that to happen. Because
I was going to say, if you want me on the air for 24 hours, you need to donate to my caffeine binge for one thing. Yeah. Christ. That's kind of a insensitive question, but it's definitely me. I mean, seriously, but that's a horrible question. Don't ever. That's terrible.
All right. Do you have it pulled up?
I think so. Can you guys hear this enough where we're going to get pinged? Hang on.
I can't hear anything. It's low enough that you'll be fine.
Okay, cool. Here we go.
All right, I'm going to go get water. I'm going to full screen you while you do it.
You are beautiful on the inside. You are innocence personified. And I will drag you down and sell you out. Run away. I am cold like December snow. I have carved out this soul made of stone, and I will drag you down and sell you out. Embraced by the darkness, I'm losing the light. Encircled by demons, I fight. What have I become now that I've betrayed everyone I've ever loved? I push them all away. And I have been a slave to the Judas in my mind. Is there something left for me to save in the wreckage of my life? My life, I become, and screw that out. Sorry about that. Judas in my mind. I become, and Judas in my mind. Judas in my mind. Should I keep going or no?
You don't have to.
Okay, good. I love the song. I really do. It's just,
right.
It sounds like shit with me. But like I said, if you were on my Twitter feed, recent, last day or so, whatever it was, I found a much better video of somebody that was at on the Jerk Cruise when he and Cass came out, and my video was crap because I was trying to do this and trying to rush down to the Paradise Kitty show after, so I was like in a jam. The video I put up was great, and Chris actually retweeted it, so I'm okay with it. So, and again, I can't thank Chris Jericho enough for booking Fozzy, his band, booking Paradise Kitty, and being a part of their show. I didn't even pay attention. He actually sang Rocket Queen with them too, which is actually awesome. So he sang Rocket Queen and Sweet Child of Mine with them, which was just great. I did tell him how long I've known Jenna and how awesome it was to have him up there and have my worlds collide. And he thanked my appreciation. So it was very cool. I do look forward to going back on Jericho Cruise in 2024 because next year I have a spring wedding to go to, apparently, according to the group chat. And in 2023, I'll be here at WrestleMania here in town. So shit's expensive. So Jericho Cruise 24, baby. Woo!
There you go. Hopefully by then the Greg Cherry show will explode. And
I was gonna say we got to get you and Jen on the Jericho Cruise. I think I know you guys. I know you guys love cruises. We've talked about that, and I don't know where Jen is at with the wrestling aspect of it, but man, I had so much fun. Pretty much with all the non-wrestling stuff, believe it or not, I had a blast. So,
yeah, I've mentioned it to her before.
Right.
I feel like that's still something that I'd have to convince her on. I know she loves cruises. I don't know how she would do with the wrestling cruise though.
Well, the thing is, she's got a great sense of humor, and the comedy shows enough. My God, we're just so much fun, because you basically have wrestlers doing stand-up and improv comedy, which I know how much you love improv comedy. It was so fun to watch all that stuff. Yes, the wrestling stuff out on the pool deck, watching the action for AEW was great, but like I found much more enjoyment in pretty much everything else. I was only at ringside twice. Once to meet Kate at your urging, which again I can't thank you enough for that. We'll definitely get her on the Greg Cherry show here soon, hopefully. And then the last night when Chris and Orange Cassidy came out, so I could get the Judas entrance finally, and that was it.
Yeah,
like I wasn't out there for much of the wrestling the rest of the weekend, so.
All right, let's get into a little bit of the NFL. We briefly talked about it earlier.
Yes.
The Steelers beat the Browns on Sunday.
Yes.
Little bit of an annoyance with the fake field goal. The call was bad, but the non-call on the helmet to helmet was worse.
Oh my God,
that was ridiculous.
Yeah, that was just bad.
But they made it up for. The NFL officiating crew made up for it with an even worse call in the Bengals-Jets game towards the end.
Thank you. God.
As much as I don't care for the Bengals, I even told Sean, it's like, yeah, because SRS is a Bengals fan. I told him, it's like, yeah, that was definitely a questionable call because it looked like just a regular tackle. I really think that the NFL needs to adapt college's targeting rule.
Oh, yeah.
Because penalties like that should be reviewable.
Yes.
Like, even if there's like any doubt whatsoever, like, yeah, it might stop the game a little bit, but it's like, you got to know, like, because that helmet to helmet should have been called. The fact that, and it should be reviewable too. Like that should be like an automatic review, not like a flag thrown, like not a challengeable review. College does a lot of things right that the NFL screws up.
I think sports entities, period. College ball, the National Hockey League now, other sports have really embraced and recognized the dangers of CTE and concussions in general. And the NFL, for whatever reason, and again, I'm getting a little bit of a hot take here and a little bit of a high horse here, but having dealt with a concussion situation my entire adult life, it needs to be addressed more often and more intensely, without question. Every year around this time, I read Mick Foley's Santa Mick memoir because it's holidays and that's what I do. The fact that he had to step away, the fact that he was told your career's over, dude, you got a lot going for you. You don't need this. You don't need to be doing this anymore. And a lot of it was CTE, and yes, his knees are a mess, but CTE based, and the fact that he's championed for so much, the fact that Chris Nowinski, who had a blip of a career in WWE, because it's Tough Enough, and then the Harvard gimmick he had, has completely found a new calling in life, and God bless him for it, for becoming Dr. Chris Nowinski and heading up the changes he's trying to make in this world with the terms of concussion awareness. Man, my God. If we get Chris Nowinski on any of our shows, I would probably get us thrown off the air just for length of show, because I admire that guy so much for what he's done for CTE and concussion awareness, and the NFL is grossly under like consciously underaware. I think like they I know they know, but they don't like talk about it. They just like, okay, well, bad boy. Nah, man, helmet to helmet's bullshit. It's flat out bullshit.
So Curtis says college is not better at OT than the pros. I agree and I disagree.
Okay.
Because I don't like ties.
No,
I never have.
No.
And the fact that pro games go to a tie when it's just, I don't like that. Now, granted, the new setup for college football overtimes is kind of weird because it used to be like you had the ball at the 25 for the first two periods, and then if you go to a third overtime, you have the ball at the 25, but then you have to go for two if you score a touchdown.
Yeah.
They've since changed that. So now starting with the third overtime, you get one play as a 2-point conversion. And if you get it, you get it. And if you don't, you don't. And that goes to the other team. It's like you're hinging everything on one play. And the Illinois Penn State game that went to 9 overtimes is like, first of all, I wasn't even aware of the rule because I didn't watch that game, but I did go back and watch all the overtime periods. I wasn't aware of the rule change until I saw. I was like, man, this went to 9 overtimes. Why was it only 20-18? It's like, did they fail like a lot in overtime?
Yeah.
And then I watched the game. I was like, oh, this is the new rule now? Like, it has to be like recent, either this year or last year, because I don't remember it prior to this.
I am surprised that Britt Baker and Corey Grace managed to work on time this week with all the overtimes had to watch. So they're just let it end.
Was it Illinois or was it Indiana or Iowa? One of them.
One of them damn I states we're going to get to later in the season.
Yeah. Either way. It was one of those things that's like, man. No, because Penn State lost to Iowa before that. Like, that's what it was.
Yeah. I mean, he's not wrong, but it made for interesting Twitter timelines. I'll say that much.
It's like I said, like the old overtime system for college was fine. The new one I don't care for. Like the trying the 2-point attempts on the third overtime. I understand they're trying to save time for the game, but at the same time, it's like,
yeah, but 9 OTs to get a 2-point conversion is not saving time. That's just wasting time.
Yeah.
So, it's a double-edged sword. I'd be curious to see what Dwayne and Danny implement in the XFL when they relaunch. I'm curious what their OT policy is going to be. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll definitely see there.
Next year.
We do have some wrestling news to talk about very briefly.
Yes.
Because we're almost at 20-8. Holy crap!
That was because the opening took 45 minutes. So.
Yeah. John Moxley. The news about Moxley voluntarily entering a rehab program for alcohol. We wish him the best, obviously.
We do.
So, like any of us, I don't know if anybody has alcoholics in their family. I think a lot of us do, and we know that it's a very tough thing to break. Any addiction is. Let's be honest. Any addiction is very hard to break.
Yep.
So the fact that he realized he had a problem and is doing something about it, I feel like that has a lot to do with the fact that he's a new dad and he wants to provide the best life for him.
I said the exact same thing. I've not met John personally. Would like to one day. Had the chance to interact with her a couple times. She's wonderful. He's a Cincy boy. So I'll always pull for the homers and alcohol. I said this in my post. People don't, and again, we're talking about CT not being God, we're getting really political today on the show. But alcoholism didn't used to be like, oh well, it is what it is type. It used to be is what it is type thing. It wasn't looked at like drug abuse or whatever because I go out with the boys after a show or after work or whatever. And nah, man, you gotta be able to pull it together. And like you said, he's a new daddy, and The little ones don't need to grow up with that. So the fact that, John was self-aware enough to realize what was going on and get himself some help is admirable. There are a few people out there today that questioned Tony's decision to post that. John okayed it, and John wanted it out there. So anybody out there questioning it, it's, that's why Twitter is the disease that it is, because people just can't take things at face value.
Yeah, and while Twitter has done a little bit of good, like with some people that we interact with, like
Kate, for example.
Yeah, Kate, exactly. Kate,
who's wonderful. Yes, she's a great.
Yes.
I love her.
In that instance, Twitter is a wonderful thing.
Yes.
But like, there were people on Twitter, saying that Moxley's problem was an AEW thing and comparing it to his time in WWE. If that is exactly where you took that, log off, deactivate your account, go outside. Because seriously, don't make. Why do people feel the need to make everything a war? And it's not just wrestling. It's especially not just wrestling. It's literally everything.
Yes.
If you are on Twitter, you feel the need to make a split decision about everything. Like everything you need to take a side on. It's like, not everything's an issue, guys.
No.
I deal with like actual issues for my job on a daily basis. Like people's like actual problems. Not going to go into them because I would get fired as a result. But it's like, why does everybody need to take something and make it like a choose a side issue? Like, why can we not come together as like human beings?
Right. Why is it a divisive thing to not rally behind John and Renee and the little one and go kick this thing's ass and get back to work and do and get back to life, man? Why is that divisive? Why can't we all be behind John and support that? It's okay. Here's the one for the day. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. I feel like it's just clout chasing at this point. Like, people want to get noticed and they'll do whatever they can. Listen, as somebody who is a self-mark and wants to get himself out there, I'm not going to do that because, as Macho Man said, the cream rises to the top. And that's exactly how I feel. Like, yeah, I'm not getting those like massive Twitter interactions or whatever because I don't post garbage out there. Like, I'm trying to post like wholesome content, fun content and stuff like that. It's like, I'll take my time. My work will get noticed. I'm not going to clout chase just for the Twitter likes. It's not my style, and it never has been.
Great example that ties into this. You're not a regular drinker, so I don't know if you would be aware of this.
I don't drink at all. So
there you go. Alcohol, if you mix it with soda or whatever, it settles to the bottom. So the garbage settles to the bottom of the stack. That's what you just said. The cream rises to the top. The good stuff, the stuff that's not near as bad for you, which soda's still bad, sugar and caffeine are a bitch, but the alcohol settles in the bottom and just messes with you, right? Because, like I said, I've had a straw and a Jack and Coke. It's like, whoa, okay, let's take a straw out of that for a second. Jesus.
Yeah.
You're just sipping straight whiskey at that point. It's like, oh. So it's tough on the throat. And it's just, you said it right. Macho Man, cream of the crop, right to the top. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. You hit that spot on, brother. Well said.
Yeah.
And yes,
and
some people have self, and you know what? That's exactly why Twitter, quote unquote, flourishes, because the self-importance people, keep the conversation. Another great example, the brief interaction I had with Sean a couple weeks ago about my response to him, the fact that one fan kept going, Sean responded to me like 9 days later after I was already off the boat. Oh yeah, I meant to send this earlier. Dude, again, no issue with Sean. Kate and I talked about Sean on the interview that's going to be up there tomorrow. We were just having fun with it. But because, little fan of Sean's work or whatever he's a fan of, that person, just wanted to keep digging. That's the difference.
Yeah.
And, well, you interacted. No, I interacted with him just to have fun, just to see how far it would go before he got the hair up his butt and really got antsy. So it was fun for me to watch that. So anyway.
I do want to say, like, in that same vein, like, everybody who's watched the show knows my goal to one day be on Quizzlemania.
Yes.
And it's not exactly a secret. But in the same breath, I'm trying my best it's hard sometimes to not clout chase and like put myself over every chance I get. I started doing that initially, and I'll admit, I started doing that initially, and I feel like it soured on some people, so I backed off. It's like, okay, I'm gonna let my stuff speak for itself. So
exactly,
I want that hope to like get out there. It's like, be a good person, good things will happen. And this also ties into one of my other things that I feel like Twitter needs to like identity verify everybody.
Yep.
Because like I don't like this, like, you know, Michael 7 numbers like talking some crap. It's like, and he hides behind a profile that nobody follows. It's like, listen, if you're going to have your opinions out there, if you're going to have your stuff out there, you should have your face on it so people know who you are.
Exactly.
And it can be used in the same breath too. Like if you're having issues, if you're having problems, then people can know who you are and get you the help you need. Like you can do multiple things with this, because if you have no idea who this person is and they're going through stuff, you don't know how to get a hold of them because you don't know who they are. So like you can use the Twitter verification for good in a lot of different aspects. Some people disagree with that because it's like, oh, you know, we don't need to do that. That's invasion of privacy. Listen, it could be beneficial to a lot of people. It's not just about you. Quit thinking the me. Like, help out everybody by like, and maybe it would cut down on some of the toxicity. Unless, of course, there are people who will go on there willingly, show their face, and be dicks. That's possible. But I think it'll be cut down significantly when people know who you are. People don't have that kind of brave keyboard warrior spirit when you're hiding behind a username with 6 numbers. Right. Like when people know, when they can associate a face to the name, are they really going to have that?
Yeah. That's why people have questioned my thing of being Jeff Meacham the last 20 years on the talk shows and everything. It's like, that's who I am. Like, you get me, like me, hate me, whatever. I am who I am. That's all I am. Boop, boop. So, you know, it just is what it is. By the way, not just Twitter. I have now been followed, no lie, by 4 fake accounts from 4 female friends of mine in my life. 1, a person outside of entertainment. 3 from 2 different hockey cheerleader organizations, the Kings and the Knights. Tried to follow me, knowing that I'm friends with these people, I assume. And I had to report the accounts and get them, you know, blocked or whatever. It's like, people out there in social media are anything but socially aware of their own damn selves. Y'all need a hobby or some counseling or a jacket that hugs you back. One of those 3. Just saying.
All right, let's get into some weird state laws.
Yes.
Let's raise this up a little bit.
Weird state laws are the best part of this show. I swear to God, it's tremendous.
If you still choose to send in some super chats, give me a little bit of a birthday present before I go to my birthday on Friday.
That's right.
We appreciate any of your donations.
The fact that your money got me singing Judas, I'm sorry.
We'll definitely see. But Dynamite's on in 10 minutes, so we're going to try and fly through these laws, get a couple of your questions.
Yes.
And if there are wheel spins, we'll stay over. But we're going to try and be off the air by 8. So here we go. In Delaware, it is illegal to fly over any body of water unless one is carrying sufficient supplies of food and drink.
I'm actually okay with that. That's really a weird one. I'm actually okay with that. Because if you crash, you know, somewhere on like an island out there in the middle of whatever, you know, then you got food and drink, you're good to go.
Yeah, but does that count for like ponds and stuff? Because I consider it a body of water.
That's where the weird part comes in, I guess.
Yeah, it's like you got to specify.
Like, don't fly over that puddle.
Yeah. R-rated movies shall not be shown at drive-in theaters.
Well, that's ridiculous. What?
It's not a law here because about an hour away there's a drive-in theater and they show R-rated movies all the freaking time.
I was gonna say, what's the point of taking your girl to a drive-in movie if it's not gonna be scary and you're gonna not pay attention to the movie? Wink, wink. I mean, come on.
I guess. I mean, maybe that's to prevent like people watching like Toy Story or something, and then looking over a screen. It's like, oh, hey, there's a sex scene. I don't know.
Well,
or somebody getting murdered.
Well, again, and again, this is me trying to reach back in the memory I do have of this. I think they keep the screens far enough apart at drive-ins where you literally can't see the other stuff going on. Like they don't keep them they keep them like circular, so you can't see the other screens. I think, and that's to prevent getting an extra movie as well as stuff like that. Dude, people are all over the hats today. On my, by the way, like I need to make the hats a gimmick now just because of this show.
Yeah. Follow Jeff Meacham's hat on Twitter.
Jeff Meacham's hat. There we go. Verify that account before Aaron's. I will laugh till New Year's.
Oh my! That's gonna be somebody's gonna make that.
Let me do it. Let me do my own hat account, please, you guys. Seriously. Anyway.
We might have started something here.
Yeah. We did.
In Lewes, Lewes.
Sure.
Lewes.
I think it was. Yeah, Lewes, I think.
It is illegal to wear pants that are firm fitting around the waist.
We appreciate that, Delaware, very much.
In Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, which a lot of these laws come from.
Oh, okay.
No person shall change clothes in his or her vehicle.
I'm okay with that one too, just because if you're walking by, you don't need to be seeing. Yeah. I'm okay. But the thing is, again, if you're in a hurry for something and you don't have time to run back to the house or to your hotel or whatever, and you gotta do a quick change thing. Hey, you know what? Jeff Meacham's hat can be a thing like Adam Blampier as long as Jeff Meacham's name is spelled right, Brett. Oh, hey. Here, wait a minute. Here. Okay, there. My name will be up there when you're done with the Weird State Laws. It's MEA, for the love of God, people. Anyway.
Also in Rehoboth Beach, no person shall pretend to sleep on a beach on the boardwalk.
Yeah, you actually have to be asleep.
Yeah.
Pretenders, you.
But what if you're like trying to fall asleep? Are you going to get in trouble? It's like you're not actually asleep yet. You just have your eyes closed. If you shut up, then yeah.
That's when you take the sleeping pills and just make sure it happens quickly. Why is this on the books? Exactly. I agree with Tim. What the hell?
That can be applied to literally anything we do in this segment.
Yes. This entire segment is, why is this here? How many times did it happen before it actually became a problem? Yeah. To actually legislate over it. The gimmick, kids.
Also in Rehoboth Beach, changing into or out of a bathing suit in a public restroom is prohibited.
Again, I think that one's silly because are you going to wear a sandy, salty swimsuit in your car and drive home in it? That's kind of dumb.
Well, you can't change in your car either.
That's what I'm saying. That seems very anti-human helping there for me.
Also in Rehoboth Beach, alcohol may not be served in nightclubs if dancing is occurring on the premises at the same time.
I 100% approve of that. On levels you can't even understand, people. Greg doesn't drink. He doesn't know. Poofa.
No, I don't. I also don't go to nightclubs.
Yeah. Having worked in both and done, no, dancing and drinking should not be a co-mingling activity at all. No.
Finally, in South Bethany, Delaware,
oh boy,
all persons must carry a bag with them at all times when they walk their dog in case said dog poops or risk $100 fine.
That should be a global law.
So I have to say, for all those states that we've done, Delaware's is actually like the most calm, the most relaxed state.
Yeah, none of them are like remotely like weird enough where we sit there and like giggle ourselves stupid over it. I was actually okay with most of those. The whole changing clothes thing at the beach, I think is stupid, but I live in Delaware, so I'll worry about it.
What can you do? So
California, you have to, because man, our oceans are so nasty anyway out here. If you don't change clothes, you're gonna go home with some sort of disease or some shit. So,
So this guy Experience donated $1. Thank you very much, this guy.
Thank you, sir.
Do you think the Hurt Business will ever get back together in full, including Bobby and MVP, and have all the gold this time? Well, they came close to that when they were in their first iteration, because Shelton and Cedric had the tag titles, and Bobby Lashley had the U.S. title and the WWE title before they broke the Hurt Business up. For what reason, I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
Like that one's still one that doesn't make sense to me. And now they just call Shelton and Cedric the Hurt Business, like without Lashley.
Which it doesn't make sense. I don't understand why, if you're gonna have the faction name come back, put the faction together. Like, because again, I'm never gonna ever discount Shelton Benjamin's anything. Let me say that right now. And I like Cedric. Neither one of them make me believe they're gonna hurt me long term. Shelton maybe with the wrestling ability, with the stretching. But I don't worry about them hurting me like I worry about Lashley hurting me. So
yeah. Although the lumbar check looked like it would suck to take.
That's very true. That's very true.
But it also might be fun. Tim Davis is asking, what's the next state?
Florida.
Ready for this one? Florida.
Well, yeah. If you've ever even been to Florida once, we're gonna have fun with that one next week.
Oh yeah.
The driving laws alone. Anyway.
Let's see. What questions do we have here today?
Dude, people are so fixated on the hat thing. This is making me chuckle. I've worn hats.
Your hat's more over than anything we've done on this show.
I know, it's like, seriously, we need to have like the Greg Cherry Show hat now just to get it on Teespring, just to make it a thing.
I mean, I can make that happen. If you guys will go buy the Greg Cherry Show hat, yeah, we'll make it happen.
Well, the thing is, we've tried to do on the Spring Store the Jeff Meacham Network hats, and they didn't have them available for whatever reason. At least that's what I was told last time I checked. So if we can get them made, shit, I'm all right with it.
I actually don't see like any questions that we didn't already address. So
I'm not sure if it's a long list. It's just a interesting list. Florida's a 3-hour show. Yeah, no kidding. Jesus. Yeah. Florida itself is a 3-hour show. Just Florida being Florida. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying. It's like the hats have become a phenomenon in the last 57 minutes.
We're two wild and crazy guys. Yeah.
By the way, JJ and I are recording our top 10 Christmas special episode tomorrow. It's going to go up on Christmas Eve. If anybody has not seen the SNL Christmas special in the last couple years, find it. It is one of the best things ever. Like, it's so funny. They have like all the skits from over the years. It's ridiculous.
There you go. Last two questions. This guy Experience. Who's the most underrated talker in WWE?
God.
Underrated?
See, that's hard to navigate because if they're underrated, it means you don't get to hear them a lot. So
Bailey.
Yes. Okay. Wasn't hard after all. Just kidding.
Especially as a heel. Babyface Bailey was kind of Heel Bailey is the shit.
Yes.
And least favorite Hell in the Cell match, Rollins and Wyatt.
Yep. That the answer was Boss Man Taker until that mess.
Yeah.
Because Boss Man Taker was in poor taste at the end anyway.
Main event of Vengeance 2003. That was Brock, Angle, and Big Show.
Attaboy. There you go.
For the WWE Championship. And Angle pinned Brock to win the title.
It becomes after only 4 months off of the experimental surgery.
Yeah. All right.
And by the way, I met Kurt on the cruise again. I don't know if I talked to you about this. Him and Giovanna are awesome. I love them both. So,
and also, would you like to see a wrestler wrestle a full match while wearing a hat?
Yes.
Super Colo, guys.
Yeah,
this guy's hat never comes off.
Nitro, kids. WWE Network on Peacock. Do your research.
All right, that's
damn it, you guys. Oh my god.
I'm okay. Follow me on Twitter at Greg Cherry Brand. I will post a link to the Greg Cherry Show hat that you guys can go buy. I'm going to make it happen.
Awesome. All right.
You queue up the closing thing.
I am ready.
I'll just send you guys off to Dynamite. I'm going to go watch it this week. So thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for the donations. Have a good week. Watch WTC tomorrow. The debut of the tournament is happening tomorrow. Tempest and Chris LaBelle. Join us then, 6 o'clock Eastern, on the Greg Cherry brand. So make sure you have your notifications, your subscriptions, all that stuff lined up on YouTube, because it's exclusive on the Greg Cherry brand YouTube. It's nowhere else. You're not going to see it anywhere else. So thank you very much for joining us, and we will see you next week right here on the Greg Cherry Show.